we lose people we relate with, we get into that friction, we might have our relationships faltering. So when you desire to restore someone, you should involve compassion, humble effort, lest you might fall. The verse is in Luganda. I haven't quoted it in English, but I love using it. Lugamba nti buli alowooza nti ayimiridde yekuume aleme okugwa. So sometimes when we have cases of conflict, the way we are handling people, it's like we are so perfect, like we cannot err. So, but we are being cautioned, according to the commentary, to have compassion and to be humble in our effort to help that person return into a right relationship with God and the church. There should not be anything like public exposure, gossip, or harsh judgment. Those are some of the keynotes on the Bible commentary regarding that verse. Yes. So, and it also requires humility and a self-aware approach, that I could make the same mistake, that I am not perfect. That is self-awareness. So the way I deal with grace should be friendly and filled with a lot of humility. I hope you have got the keywords. The keywords from the commentary are gentle restoration, humility, self-awareness, and the purpose for conflict resolution should be restoration or restoring the relationship. Do not forget, I don't know how many of you are studying the adult lesson quarterly. Let me see thumbs from those who studied the lesson. Thank you, Daniel, Belden, Winnie. Thank you, all of you. I realize you're studying, you're good leaders, because an SYL should first of all be a spiritual leader. Now, you all know that the lesson this quarter that we are winding up has been targeting relationships. And in the great controversy, the enemy is targeting our relationship. This is the relationship amongst us, relationship with each other, and then our relationship with God. So his target is to destroy those two relationships. Yet, when in the commandments, when God talks about love, he splits them and says the greatest are two: loving your neighbor and then loving your God. So when you fall out with a neighbor or with a friend, or you fall out, there is no value attachment to your relationship with God, because it should be more valuable for you to uphold the relationship with someone you're with, other than the one you're not seeing, who is in heaven. So we should keep in mind that whenever the enemy targets us and we end up conflicting, he is targeting the relationship. He is targeting our relationship with one another. He is targeting the relationship we have with God. Therefore, love does not abound in such a case. I think that is why the author of the GC presentation for conflict management gave us that key text. I don't know why they chose that text, but that is the text they gave us to use when we are talking about this particular presentation. So we cannot rush through and go to the principles. So we shall start from the definition. I want to ask someone here what conflict is. The class is going to be more interactive, so I don't know who I should pick on. Jackson, what is conflict according to you, or according to what you have studied? Jackson, are you there? Cantono, what is conflict according to you?
Yes, good evening, everyone. And according to me, conflict is the existence of conflict. No, I don't ideas that do not match, or pulling of ropes between two parties. Yeah, or more.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your thought, Canton. Grace says it is a disagreement. This is the definition I have from my study while I was preparing this. A conflict is a natural disagreement resulting from individuals or groups that differ in attitudes, beliefs, opinions, values, or needs. It is a natural disagreement. Therefore, it is normal because anything natural is here to be with us. Mm? So you'll give me just a minute, just a second.
Elder Rosalie, mute yourself, please.
Oh, thank you for being patient. I was just talking to someone here to kind of reduce the volume for us because boom, boom, boom was was high. Okay, so a while ago I was sharing the definition. Jackson is saying a misunderstanding. My definition is that a conflict is a natural disagreement resulting from individuals or groups that differ in attitudes, beliefs, opinions, values, or needs. The moment you disagree on any of those, you are in a conflict. And I said that conflict is normal and natural. It is just a normal and natural consequence of human interaction because we are social beings. Unless you're going to live on an island, but the moment you interact with a fellow human being, you're bound to conflict at some point. Why? Because it is hard for me and Brian to have the same opinions. At some point, we are going to have different opinions regarding a particular topic. It is okay for us to have different opinions. That should not mean we are enemies. It is very hard for Jackson and who I am trying to do a roll call, and Daniel to have the same values or even the same needs. So we are different. And the moment we interact and I do not uphold your values, we definitely are going to conflict. So it is normal and natural. Don't ever be there and feel overwhelmed. Banange entalo nga zisuse mu kanisa. Why is there so much conflict in the church? Why is there so much conflict at the workplace? That is not a wise question. Conflicts are bound to happen. You just have to know how to navigate. So let me ask, I don't want to ask Winnie because she just gave us a devotional. Let me ask Precious Joseph, are conflicts always unhealthy?
I think yes.
You think yes? Okay. What does Darren think? Darren, do you think conflicts are always unhealthy? Darren left just after I mentioned his name. Jockey, do you think conflicts are always unhealthy?
Yes, madam.
You think they are unhealthy? Okay. I've selected men. Let me give a lady an opportunity. Asaba, what do you think?
Me, I think some conflicts are healthy, some are unhealthy.
Thank you so much, Asaba. So everyone is entitled to what they think. Others think conflicts are unhealthy, others think they could be healthy or unhealthy. So my answer, according to research and study, is that no. The question was, is conflict always unhealthy? My answer is no. Someone else's answer could be no, yes. Now, my answer is no for this reason. Although conflict may be uncomfortable, it's not always negative or unhealthy. Network here, Brian, Teddy Stable. Mr. Director, I hope you hear that plea and record. So although conflicts may be uncomfortable, no one wants to be in an environment where you're having friction with someone or with people. However, it's not always negative or unhealthy, which means there are some healthy conflicts. We are going to have a simple role play, although we are online. So just be on alert, because anytime I'm mentioning your name, Brian is always afraid that I'm too serious. Yes, I am serious because I am choleric and I'm melancholy. The most unique temperaments combined, it becomes like a time bomb. Being a melancholy is something else. So anytime I'll just say your name, so just be on alert. Now, healthy conflicts can lead to growth and innovation. If a conflict is healthy, it can lead to growth and innovation. It can even enhance stability. It can lead to effectiveness when we manage it well. Mika is not hearing me. He says my voice is low. Mika, are you hearing me now? Mika? Mika, are you hearing me? Okay, that's good. I don't want to leave anyone, and most especially a pastor. I don't want to leave a pastor. I don't even want to leave the sheep, the flock. Now, most of the time, positive conflict management and resolution skills result into positive outcomes. That's the reason I am saying you should not get afraid of conflicts. Just ask God, the conflict is here. How can I manage it? How best can we resolve this? And God will give you the wisdom. You see, because good things can come out of it. Good things can come out of it. My network, someone says my network is low. Banange, what is the rest of the class saying? Is it my side or your side?
But some of us, we are getting you clearly, but we don't know those ones over their networks. But let also them try to look for them.
Okay, some
Their
people say there is no problem. So I'm going to proceed. I'm going to proceed. If it is not stable on the largest side, then maybe I will have to end the presentation. Okay. So I want to continue. I was talking about positive conflict management and saying that it can yield positive outcomes. However, unhealthy conflict can result into a disaster. If a conflict is unhealthy, it will result into a disaster. The house will get on fire. But if a conflict is healthy, good things will come from it. Now, I want Brian and Grace. You're going I'm going to give you a case scenario. You're going to give us a role play here online. Then, Jackson, I don't know how good your network is. Jackson, are you hearing me? Jackson and Winnie, you're going to give us a role play. So please listen carefully to this that I'm saying. Number one, Grace and Brian, you're going to be on the side of unhealthy You're going to role play an unhealthy conflict. Winnie and Jackson, you're going to role play a healthy conflict. These are the characteristics of a healthy conflict. Number 1, there is listening attentively, actively, and empathetically. You listen to each other empathetically and actively. You care to understand. Sorry about that. I hope I'm back. Now, healthy conflict, I was saying. Listen attentively, actively, empathetically. You can ask questions for clarity from your party or your partner. Remain calm and respectful. Focus on mutual understanding. Okay? That is Winnie and Jackson. Have you got your points clearly? Winnie and Jackson? Jackson
Somehow.
Okay, somehow. Let me repeat for you, Winnie. These are the characteristics. Number 1, you listen actively and empathetically. You seek clarity. Kyototegedde muno mubuuza bulungi. You remain calm and respectful. You focus on mutual understanding. That is a healthy conflict. I'm going to give you a case scenario. Grace and Brian, are you listening? Thumbs up if you're listening. These are your characteristics. Number 1, you're yelling, you're shouting, you're interrupting the other person. You're explosive, you're angry, you're defensive. If you're the one in the wrong, you're trying to defend yourself. You focus on trying to win the argument. Grace and Brian, show me that you have got your characteristics well. Grace and Brian, have you got your character? Good. Case scenario for the two groups. Winnie, when I finish the case scenario, your party is coming in first to role play. Then after you, we shall have Grace. Just be brief. Bring out these characteristics that I've given you. This is the case scenario. These two couples were saving up money for something important in their family. I don't know what is important in their family. Maybe the couple wants to buy a house. Maybe they want to buy a car. Maybe it is school fees for their children. I don't know, but they are saving money. Now, the woman, the wife, gets the money without consulting from the husband and spends it. When the husband goes, when it is time for them to do what they were supposed to do with that money, the husband calls out for the money, and then the woman is presenting less money with other reasons that she spent part of the money. It is time for them to get what they plan to get, and the money is not enough. The woman says, I used it for ABC. Yet she did not talk to the man about it before. This is a conflict. I want you to role play the conflict. Healthy, the pair of healthy, Winnie, please start. You pair, you have just a minute to bring out these characteristics. Then after, the second pair will also bring out their characteristics.
Why is the person I'm playing with?
who is Winnie's partner? Was it Jackson?
Yes, it was Jackson.
Okay, please start. You have one
Yeah.
1 minute.
1 minute. Yes, yes, my husband. I actually used this part of the money. That's why I'm presenting.
I'm here, but I don't know the money network.
Nanange, someone help us with those people who keep unmuting. Winnie and Jackson, please.
Jackson, are you there?
Yes, I am here, but I don't know that my network is okay. Am I being heard, please?
Actually, it's okay. We can continue.
Okay. So
Okay. I'm sorry I used part of the money. That's why I'm presenting it a bit less. The child was severely sick when you had gone for the trip.
So what you mean right now?
We cannot buy the land. We can pay part of it and then get more to clear.
Now we get better now. Like,
Pardon?
is the kid okay?
Oh, yes. Very fortunately, some experts came in and they worked on the issue. It was actually a miracle that these guys came in, and this issue wasn't a very easy one, but an expert came in and the baby was worked on.
Okay, then, okay, I think we shall again do more collecting of the money.
Yes, actually, I talked to the guy who is selling land to us, and he accepted to give us more 6 months to collect all the rest of the money.
All right. Thank you so much. We shall see in future then.
Thank you for understanding.
Can we give flowers to that pair for role playing a healthy conflict? Thank you, Winnie and Jackson. Now let's have the unhealthy conflict. Your case can be the woman used the money for something different, over extravagance or something. Yes. Good man, you begin. Good evening, everyone. Brian, I'm requesting that you begin by asking a question about the money, then I'll come in kindly.
Oh, good evening, everyone. But unfortunately, simanyi kunyiga, but let me try. Oh, honey, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
So how are kids? Are they okay?
They're all well.
Oh, I had a plan. Okay, we had a plan. The money that we were saving, I don't know whether you have them. So I have a plan for that money. So can you please go and get it for me?
Unfortunately, the money is not there. I used it.
Wait. I beg your pardon?
I wait for what? I've said I used the money.
Bakuzikawa. Are you serious? This is not good.
I used
No,
the
you see, ladies
money. I
of
wanted
these
the
days.
money, so I had to use it.
My goodness. How dare you use the money without my consent?
Now, first, excuse me a little bit. Last week I asked you for money and you couldn't provide. The money was there, so I had to use it for my own business.
My money is my money. Okay?
My
money
money
is my
is our
money.
money, and my
No.
money is my money.
Where is it written? Where is it written? And
All
keep
you have
quiet.
to
If
know,
I'm
our
talking, you have to keep
money.
quiet. Wait. If I'm talking, you have to keep quiet, okay? How dare you? I'm talking and you're talking.
Amaka gatavuse kale. Thank you. Brian has tried to be angry. I've loved it. Yes, thank you for role playing an unhealthy conflict. So, Grace, oli mu misango and you're busy smiling when your husband is angry. You're there smiling. Okay, thank you guys. So, we were trying to bring out a healthy conflict and one that is not healthy. Kyembalaze nti conflicts are inevitable. They are with us. We just need to manage them in a healthy manner so that we don't fall apart. Thank you, the two pairs. Now, these are the elements of conflict. Element number one is values. If values are not upheld at the same level, there is going to be a conflict. So we have only two elements. Element number one is values. Someone may ask, what are values? Values are beliefs. They are beliefs or principles we consider to be very important. For example, let me ask Daniel. Daniel, what is that principle of yours that you consider very important? Daniel?
Okay, I press the mute the mic. What you mute your microphone first?
Daniel, okay. Because this is an online session and we have to secure time, when I mention your name, please be quick. Let's ask Dennis, Mr. Wakungu. What is that? Chichi echo upholding nga kiri very important in your life.
Hey, that it's actually very important in my life.
That principle, a principle of yours that is very important.
Not being honest with me.
Thank you. Honesty is a principle that Mr. Wakungu upholds. If you're not honest with Mr. Wakungu, you will conflict with him. So now values are an element that are considered that have an impact on conflict. Therefore, serious conflict can arise when people hold incompatible values or when values are not clear. Honesty is his. What is your value? Another person who is on this session. Let me give you another value that is common. It is the value of an SDA young man or young woman. For example, I am Adventist. Let me use Precious Joseph. Let me not use myself. Joseph is an Adventist young adult. Then he goes out there and dates a non-Adventist young lady. The values are going to be incompatible. The other lady could have pork as a delicacy. She loves it. Then Joseph, that is not his line of delicacies. So their values are incompatible. The other one enjoys pork, this one does not enjoy pork. At some point, they are going to conflict. Or Joseph may compromise and not show the woman that Sabbath is important. So some Sabbaths he goes to church, then some Sabbaths he can go out with the girl because that is what she wants. They go to the beach, spend the day there. It means Joseph is not standing by his principles, therefore his values are not so clear. The other girl does not know whether he really values Sabbath or he does not. And that can cause a conflict in their relationship. Therefore, element number one is values. Element number two is feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Conflicts can seriously occur when you ignore another person's feelings or emotions. I don't know all of you. I don't know your temperaments. However, many of us who are melancholy, you know very well, tulinamu entondo. We are very sensitive people. So if you're insensitive and you shout at such a person, she can feel like you have disrespected her, and there can be a conflict. She can get annoyed, she can even cry, she can leave the church. So much can happen because you have not considered her feelings. There are people who don't want to be shouted at. You have not cared. For example, these two couples, if Winnie starts crying because she wants money for saloon, and then Jackson is not caring because he's saving money for land, for buying land, and he just walks away and says, you cry, if you want, you will stop. That can affect their relationship because Jackson has not cared about Winnie's emotions. It is something small. I'm using the most common things or the simplest examples that actually cause big conflicts in families. And you find people falling apart over petty issues simply because the other person didn't care or ignored this person's feelings and their emotions. So those are the two basic elements. Next time you look down on someone's values, next time you look down on someone's feelings and emotions, just know you're tampering with elements of conflict. Even on the platform, sometimes I see people chatting and I see these things and I'm like, okay, may God have mercy on us. But I'm glad that you're such an open-minded team that no one takes anything personal. Common types of conflict. These are common ones. There are others, but I'm giving you the most common ones.
Human versus
Type
wood.
number 1. I'm going to be giving you a conflict and an example. So type number 1 is clique vis-a-vis clique. The example I can give you is a church board vis-a-vis a group of grieved members in the church. I am using the most common ones. And I told you, whatever example I'm using is for learning purposes. So a church, there can be a group of church members who choose to leave the church and they say, let us go to Chamagwa, start our Sabbath school there, we start worshiping from there. Because they are not on the same page with the rest of the church board members, they go and start a Sabbath school branch. That can be a type of conflict. If the other Sabbath school has been started with such a background of misunderstanding. So, clique vis-a-vis clique. There are many other cliques you can think about. Me, I'm just giving an example for us to easily understand. Type number 2 of conflict is individual vis-a-vis individual. Harriet vis-a-vis Sechito. They can conflict. I think it was last week we had something dropped on the platform, but thank God Grace came and apologized and okay, brought us back into a more peaceful environment. So an individual can conflict with an individual. That is a type of conflict. Type number 3 is clique vis-a-vis individual. A whole clique against one individual. An example I can use is a church board against a church pastor. As you know, our pastors are always changed, but a pastor can come to a certain church and he fails to do what? To connect with the elders there or with the church board there. So that can be a type of conflict, which is called a clique vis-a-vis individual. It is a clique against an individual. Another type can be a clique against a group leader. A clique against a group leader. An example I can give you there is, say, ambassadors against the ambassador leader. I've heard of cases where an ambassador leader is rejected by ambassadors. And they say, Nedda, we don't want that one to be our leader. So that is a type of conflict. The group, which is the team to be led against their leader. Another type is individual vis-a-vis group leader. Within the group, there can be one individual who can conflict with the group leader. Other members are okay, but this particular member and the group leader are conflicting. So those are the most common types of conflicts that I can share with you. Now, conflict, I said, is inevitable. It is here to be with us. The most important thing that should be at your heart is management. And these are the 2 steps that you need when you're going to manage a conflict. Don't forget the requirement up there. I am giving you a background into the requirement. Step number 1, you're supposed to analyze the conflict. You cannot manage a conflict that you have not understood. You need to know, is this a group conflict, a group vis-a-vis group conflict, that is clique vis-a-vis clique? Is it an individual against an individual? What is the type of conflict? Sometimes we just pounce onto conflicts. We think we will manage them when we actually do not know what type of conflict it is. You think it is the entire church board against the church pastor, yet it is an individual against the church pastor within the church board. So you need to analyze the conflict. What nature of conflict is it? You need to do a check and see which values were stepped on, which feelings were affected. Then number 2, on conflict management, you need to determine an effective management strategy. So time may not allow us to reach the strategies, but at least I want you to know that you need to determine which strategy can I use to manage this conflict. There are only 2 steps. Number 1, analyze the conflict. Number 2, determine the best management strategy for you to be able to resolve that conflict. These are keynotes. Keynote number 1, a conflict, according to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26, a conflict should be dealt with as soon as possible. Don't leave the grievance to go over week after week after week. You're dwelling on the same thing. Resolve as soon as possible. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26. I know you know that verse. However, another keynote. However, when all parties involved in the conflict are highly emotionally engaged, when I'm really hyper, everyone is angry, everyone is just, I don't know, everyone is emotional, you're all hyper. It is a better idea for the 2 of you, everyone, to step away from the situation, pause a bit, reflect, and then reconvene maybe later when you're feeling calm to discuss and see how to resolve. It is not Christian for us to engage in heated arguments. You have seen our unhealthy conflict with Grace and Brian. Bakuziikawa. Oyogera njogera. Why are you talking when I'm talking? There is a heated argument. So there you will not resolve anything. The most important thing, when we move break, let everyone take a break. You first chill, then you come back together when it is most appropriate, and then you continue. Another keynote there. The participants in the conflict, Grace and Brian, should be encouraged to resolve the conflict on their own. Harriet should not come in and start saying, but Grace also, you're very irresponsible. Your man said you're saving money for the land. How could you use the money for saloon? You're not serious. There should not be a third party. Mulaba lwaki there are many conflicts escalating when they should have been resolved at the easiest. It's because many times it is because of third parties. A third party comes in, nayongeramu nayonoona bwonoonyi. So even if let me say, for example, Mr. Magala, Grace and Brian have talked to you about their problem. Everyone is reporting their side of the story. You should listen to them, pray for them, pray with them, but allow them to try and resolve the conflict on their own. And have a strategy, even with resources handy if necessary, that can help or that can be used to have a resolution in this conflict. Yes, third parties have escalated so many conflicts which should have been simple and they have become hard. Now that we have all that, let's see what is conflict management and then what is resolution. Because all these are key what should I call them? Keywords in the course, in the requirement that you're given. Conflict management is the ongoing process of addressing disputes. Brian and Grace are fighting over savings. When Brian talks to me and Grace also talks to me, and then I sit with Brian, I calm him down. I also sit with Grace and I calm her down. I find an opportunity to sit with the two of them. That is all a process of addressing the conflict. Therefore, that is conflict management. I am trying to manage it so that it does not escalate. There are more steps you can add to that. I'm using few because of time. Those are some of them. Can we have a meeting? Can we talk about it? Can we go for dinner? And while at dinner, we talk about it. Can we go for a date? Can we? Because with another person who can help us to resolve this, all that is management. You're trying to manage. Ebintu bireme kusajjuka. Now, conflict resolution. There I was defining conflict management. Now, conflict resolution is the process of finding a final or a more permanent, reliable solution to that specific conflict. We have a more permanent solution. Winnie and Jackson had a healthy conflict. However, Winnie used money that was saved to buy an asset to take care of the needs of the children. What I have identified with that couple is that they don't have another budget, especially for the health issues of the family, because finances should be separated. So a conflict resolution here, a more reliable solution to be used would be creating a separate account for the health of the family members, so that next time children there is an emergency regarding health in the house, Winnie will not touch the account of the asset. She will go to the account of the health and she will spend from there or from any other miscellaneous account of the family to take care of whatever need is there in the absence of her partner. That is conflict resolution. We now have a more reliable or permanent solution. The moment our child gets sick again and daddy is not around, Winnie will not touch the savings for land again. Otherwise, we will never buy the land. I hope we are together. Give me a thumbs up if we are together up to that level. Thank you so much. Now, there is another word called effective management. You know, you can try to manage a conflict, but you may fail to manage it effectively. Effective means you have got the results that you want. Now, in effective conflict management, you need to set certain rules, ground rules. There should be listening to one another, have appropriate strategies, and set rules. For example, let me use business because I am in business. If I am lending out stock to customers, I'm giving out my stock on credit. Customer says, please give me, I will bring money. Another one says, give me, I will bring money. Another one pays a half and says, I'll bring the balance or the change. Like that. Eventually, the business might fail if the word. So if to avoid conflicting with my customers, tutabuke, tukayane, they will go and even spoil my brand name. That woman, bichi, yet I helped them. Instead of getting to such levels of conflict, I can set rules and say, business tewola. Business tewola, we don't give on credit. You come with cash. Or another rule can be, if you deposit on an item, the rule is pay for it, complete payment within 2 days. Failure to do so, I will sell off the item and refund your money. If those rules are clear to my customers, the moment one of us breaches, the other party has to understand, and the conflict will be easily, effectively managed because communication was made clearly and early enough. So customer wajja nga yasiba ku lugoye amazeeyo wiiki nalutunda. Ajja kuba nina omujjukiza nakugamba sitereka ngoye ze basibyeko beyond 2 days. So that is effective management, and I will give back the customer his or her money. Okay? Now, resolution. Conflict resolution, I've given you the definition. I am just giving you an additional note. Conflict resolution involves you, who is resolving the case, to find the root cause, identify the root cause of the conflict. Why did Grace spend the money for buying land by taking it to the saloon? Did you leave her Kameza money that was enough, or you didn't? What caused it? Did she ask you for money for saloon and you didn't give her and she looked for that option? Find the root cause of this issue and explore solutions that we can use. So those are keynotes that you need. Now let's handle the principles of conflict management and resolution. Ze bakusabye wali, ze tuliko. Principles of conflict management and resolution. I don't know if anyone remembers the requirement to read it for us so that I proceed, because now I'm handling the requirement itself. Someone read for us the requirement that I read for you when I was starting. Kidas, you didn't write it? Okay, let me read it for you. It is okay. Casta, you have it. It says, submit a paper of 250 words or do a recording of 5 minutes reflecting on the principles of conflict management and resolution. Now, with such a background, principle number one, it says, separate the person from the problem. Separate the person from the problem. The person is Winnie. The problem is spending money on something that was not agreed upon. That is the problem. So I'm now explaining the point of separating the person from the problem. Use a neutral, calm tone of voice. The way Jackson did it, can we add him some thumbs up and flowers? Yes. Use a neutral, calm tone of voice. That means you're not targeting Winnie. You are targeting the problem. Talk about the problem. They have talked about it as we saw them. Listen. Jackson listened when Winnie was explaining. Focus on preserving the relationship. We see Jackson even saying thank you at the end. Even Winnie saying thank you. They have a good conclusion of their issue. So they focus on preserving the relationship. Unlike the relationship of Brian and Grace, kuba omuntu wakubuuliza gye bakuziika kitegeeza ekiddako awo si muntu. Anything can happen. So Brian and Grace are not focusing on preserving the relationship. The argument is so heated that someone can even think of kino ekintu kisobola okututwala beyond beyond just talking nekitabuka oba kye bagamba nti nekisajjuka. Now this strategy requires you to have self-control. You should have self-control to be able to separate the person from the problem. The moment you don't have self-control, you will not be able to separate the person from the problem. You're going to be attacking the woman. See this woman, ekikazi kisiru tekina magezi. Imagine I'm working so hard. Now tunavadde mu mizigo. If she's such a careless spender. Nenga n'ensonga gye yakozeeko eyo omwana nkulu. So it requires self-control. That is strategy number 1 or principle number 1. Number 2, focus on the issues, not intent or personal position. Focus on the issue. The issue is financial management, financial discipline in your house. Therefore, avoid name calling. Avoid name calling, Olichisiru and all that. Apologize where it is necessary. Or the two couples, I didn't see anyone apologizing. Anyway, the others role played unhealthy. Winnie, I didn't hear your apology. I only heard your explanation. But anyway, maybe an apology was not called for, but depends on the couple. However, apologize where necessary. Even if you see that your partner is getting heated up, apologize. It will calm the anger. And never assume. Never assume motives. Do you know someone, in a case like Grace, the man can even assume that the woman is actually taking money agule take waabwe ng'amulimba nti alikozeseza kino. This woman ayagala kungaggawalako eyo. Some people assume such things and ne byonona relationship. Truly, the woman spent the money on the child. But for you, you start assuming that she's using it maybe akuba or she's doing something bali. So the point is focus on the issue and not on personal position and other intents. Number 3, generate a variety of options. Let there be a variety of options. Ask her questions. Ask questions. How best can we do it next time? Should I increase on the money I am leaving behind? Like navigate it together. Ask each other questions, have explanations, allow time to investigate those options. If you say that we should put up a health fund in our family to avoid picking from the money of the land, how possible is it? Do we earn enough? Nti tusobola okuterekako ziri ne zibeera wali, ez'akameeza ne zibeera wali, n'ez'ettaka ne zibeera wali? Do we have enough money to have all those funds? Or our income is meager? Investigate the options and establish which one will work best for you. You could say we are going to drop 2,000 every day into a box as an option for our health fund, so that whenever it comes up as an emergency, there is something. You're navigating options. Or we can go to the insurance company and register, buy an insurance package. Those are also options. So generate a variety of options that you can work with as a team and allow each other to share ideas. Don't come up as one party and say, now you as church board, I am the pastor. The options we are going to follow are A, B, C, D. Allow the members to share their ideas, to give options. Okay? And I want you to know one thing in conflict management and resolution, that being heard is often the first step in resolution. Whenever someone chooses to pause and listen to you, it is a step in resolving the conflict. But the moment everyone is shouting, everyone is showing yewamanyi, yewobuyinza, the issue will escalate instead of calming down. So, number 4, best agreement on objective criteria. If there is anything to agree upon, anything to disagree upon, You should based on objective criteria. Don't assume that one of you should win and another person should lose. I am the man in this house. Therefore, I should win this argument. I am the pastor in this church. You don't know I'm the first elder here. No, let's be objective. You don't assume that the other members should be below you. Therefore, they should lose and you should be the one to win all the time. Okay, so we need to this objective criteria because it helps all of us to focus on the results. What results do we want? Do we want a more disciplined young people in the ambassador club? Is that what we are focusing on? Then how best can we navigate? We need to use the objective criteria. We should not focus on the people involved, the young people involved in the conflict. Otherwise, we shall end up saying, ambassadors, abaana abo bazibu nnyo, tebawulira banyooma, they are disrespectful. Even if you instruct them, they don't listen to you. They think they have grown. Anti-adolescence is disturbing them, and so many words that we can say. No, we should focus on the result. The result we desire as a church, as SYLs, is to have a more calm and manageable, disciplined group of ambassadors who can come for a meeting and attend their modules, who can come for a session, discuss, share what they learned in the week, share ideas, and not those ones we are going to command as though they are pathfinders, or those who will run away. I had an experience where ambassadors were saying, we are going to leave this church and go to the Sabbath school because the leadership was not giving them a platform where they feel welcome and appreciated. Instead, they were being instructed as though they were children, and that was causing a conflict. Number 5 is prepare for failure before it happens. Prepare for failure before it happens. I remember giving you a disclaimer when I was starting, and I said all the examples I'm using here are for learning purposes. Why am I saying prepare for failure before it happens? When you're resolving a conflict, there's a possibility that you might lose, even if you're the boss or the leader. There is that possibility. Be ready when it happens that you're the one on the losing side. Number 1, under there, be patient and persistent. I told you at the start that Satan targets relationships, our relationship with God and our relationship with fellow man. So if we are going to resolve a conflict and we uphold value on the relationships we have with one another, then we are going to be patient and persistent with each other. Know your best alternative plan. If plan A does not work, do I have a plan B? If B doesn't work, do I have a C? And then you need to know when to take a break, when to walk away, nogamba kino kiganye bano kambaleke. And you need to ensure that every party sees the effort of either party or your party. For example, I am party trying to resolve. Let everyone else say, Ruth Bambi tried. She did her best. It just didn't work. She followed all the steps. It didn't work. Treat others the way you would love to be treated. So case in point that I want to use on this point, because this is the last point, number 5. Case in point I want to use is the example which I gave you on the types of conflict, clique vis-a-vis clique. A church board vis-a-vis a group of church members who have moved out to start a Sabbath school. When you're patient and persistent with people and it is not working out, and you bring your plan A, B, C, they are not working out, you should know when to take a break and say, Ubaleke. Know how to treat others related to how you want to be treated. How would you love to be treated? I leave it in your hands. If you're the one who is experiencing a disciplinary case in the church, how would you like to be treated? You know, discipline has contributed to so much conflict in our churches. If you're the victim of the disciplinary case, how would you like to be treated? Then that is how you should treat the other person and put in effort to ensure that things go well. The relationship is saved. However, in the event that you fail, point has said prepare for failure before it happens. Wonotula nogamba, yes, I've given it 100%, kiganye nkiteredde Katonda. Awo enkomye. You get. So those are the 5 principles. When you go online, those are the ones you're going to find. Those 5, they are principles of conflict management and resolution. I want to thank you so much for being such an attentive class, for listening so well. That is our presentation on conflict management and resolution. It has a longer background as compared to the 5 points, because you cannot get into the principles without laying a foundation. Okay? So thank you for being a wonderful class. I think I want to rush you through some key things that I've not talked about that are important, and these are strategies. The strategies of conflict management. I'm going to use like 5 minutes to talk about them. How strategies that we usually use, they are management styles or strategies. All of us, each of us bends on a certain strategy. Strategy number 1 is avoiding strategy. I know all of us have found ourselves in a situation where you conflict with someone, but when you assess the situation, resolution is hard. So you try to avoid the person. You try to even avoid the issue. You even try to avoid to talk about it. We usually use this style when we realize that trying to engage for resolution is going to create more conflict. So netukireka, netukyebalama, because confronting this person may bring more problems than solutions. So you try to avoid talking about it. This style leads to a lose-lose situation because you don't get what you want. You're hurting that your wife is extravagant. She's spending money carelessly. Chikuruma. Imagine you had planned to buy land, but you clearly know w'omugambirako. Ennyumba egenda kwata omuliro ayinza n'okunoba, mukazi muzibu nnyo. So no, you just nokyebalama. You try to avoid it. That's a strategy. I don't know when you ever used it, but I know we use it sometimes. Strategy number 2, or style number 2, is accommodating style. In this style, we focus on the lose-win approach, that you have more concern for the other person and less concern for yourself. Ogamba munanga, as long as she's happy, if it is what makes her happy, let her spend the money. It hurts you, but you just accommodate her. You accommodate her extravagance and you let it go. Number 3 is the dominating style or competing style of conflict management. In this strategy, one party focuses on winning. Tafaayo oba gwe you lose, oba it hurts you, you lose your money, you're working so hard. I'm dwelling so much on that example because it is the role play which we used. That's why I'm using it most. This person doesn't care. Oba osula otunula oli ku kyeyo, you're looking for money okubeezaawo family, ye n'azikozesa bubi, ye tafaayo. She focuses on dominating. I am the woman in the house. Nze n'omusajja owange, kyonna kye njagala kyenkola, talina nawaŋŋambirako. Such is a dominating kind of strategy in conflict resolution, that whenever the other party talks to you about this issue, ensonga eri mu ddiiro, you want to dominate, you want to be the king, you want to be the queen, togambwako and all that. So the other person is suffocated. And then you just live like that. This one is not good because for you get what you want at the cost of the other party. And this is affecting so many families, of cases where people want peace. We are a Christian couple. We have to show up at church. Ndi mukadde wa kanisa, ndi mukulu wa Adventist men, omukyala nkube ewaka naye munange. I let her dominate. So she wins, I lose. The disadvantage with this one is that conflict can escalate. The moment bagamba wonyigiriza ennyo ennyinda evaamu omusaayi, the moment gets to the peak, this person ayinza okwekyawa n'akukola ekintu, and then later we hear it was you who was escalating the fights in the house. So number 4 is collaboration or integrating style of conflict management. This one we aim at a win-win situation. Like you're happy, I am happy. I think it is the most friendly or the best, the one that would be the best is collaboration. Can we sit on a table, dialogue, and understand each other, be patient with one another, have the same energy levels so that we come out with something positive. Focusing up win-win. You're happy, I am happy. Conflict evuddewo. Okay, kibadde kitulwanya, we can talk about it, we come up with a better solution instead of everyone focusing on themselves and looking down on the other. And the last one is the compromising style. The compromising style of conflict resolution, this one advocates for fairness. However, you have concern for the other person and things falter, things don't go as they should go, you compromise. Wekiriranya. Like the relationship, I used the example of was it Joseph, of dating a non-believer, and the conflict is about Sabbath. You want to go to church, she doesn't expect you to go to church on a certain Sabbath because there is going to be a beach party and she wants to show up with you as her boyfriend. Then because you don't want to conflict, you compromise and you don't go to church, you go to the beach party to make your woman happy so that the relationship is saved. The compromising style is not good. It is, you lose sight of important values because you're always compromising for the other person. So those are the strategies or the styles of conflict management and resolution. Once again, I just want to thank you so much and allow the remaining, I think there are 4 minutes to you. I don't know for questions, I don't know for clarity or whatever. I want to give them back to the moderator, those few minutes which are remaining, but that's the end of our presentation. And I want to thank you for being a wonderful class. I will pray after.
Okay, thank you, our instructor. I think the class has been attentive and getting our madam instructor. So I think now, if is there any concern about your presentation, you can raise your hand so that you can be given an opportunity so that you can clarify, or you have a question you can ask. Now it's high time so that we can go deep towards the sea.
Yeah, they feed us on posho.
Members, if is there any concern or any addition?
Then keep my commandments.
Okay, looks like there is none. There is Winnie. Winnie, your hand is up, please.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hello? 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 I'm being heard. Okay, my in conflict resolution, I really thank the presenter, but also we have some conflicts within ourselves. We didn't talk about that. Within you, an individual, you can have conflicts. It is just a point I noted that we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Winnie, for that point. And it also reminds us of our lesson quarterly. We remember the great controversy. Conflict can be within yourself, can be you and you in conflict. Thank you, Winnie, for noting that.
Okay, Omulongo also having a hand.
Me, I just want to thank our facilitator for today for having a vibrant class, and at least we have got something all of us here. Thank you so much, Teacher Ruth, and all members.
Thank you, Brian, for appreciating. Is there anyone else before we pray?
I'm seeing Waiswa Innocent has raised the hand.
She said
Waiswa, please.
it also. And
I think over his network. So
Okay, my prayer is especially for this presentation, Daniel. Then I will give you back to close your class. I like
Kayanja
Waiswa.
Vincent.
Okay.
Yes, I was asking. Can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? You can, but you're in a noisy place.
Gisebo wangi bere nkali mu meeting. Oli mu lukiiko, sorry. Oli mu SYL? Buli kyonenza omubuuza akireke. Enda katono tulimaliriza. Onkubirako. Abakoba ife. Abakunyabire nti. Abandi bwebuoyo omulala oyo. Osaba muntu abakumya 3 busongwa mwana.
This presentation it does in our homes and at church, at our places of work, wherever we are, first of all, spiritual leaders. So when I make this presentation, I like to pray for the learners. Then I'll give you back, Mr. Moderator, to end the class. Yes, I know that when you were studying the lesson, you also saw Jacob and Esau talked about and how they resolved their conflict. So let us pray. Lord, I want to thank you so much for this moment of study that you have allowed us, your children. We always have to learn. We need to be open-minded to learning because knowledge is here to help us become better people, better Christians, and better leaders. I just pray that a special outpouring of your Holy Spirit will rest upon your people, your learners here online, so that each one of us henceforth will focus on resolving conflicts. I know we have many conflicts happening in our lives, within us, amongst us, and with those around us. Sometimes we are just short of the knowledge and wisdom on how to navigate, but we pray that starting tonight, a special spirit will rest within us to focus on upholding our relationships with others and our relationship with you. Because whenever there are conflicts that are unhealthy, the enemy is targeting, destroying those relationships. Teach us how to navigate and how to uphold healthy conflicts so that we can live in better communities. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Back to you, moderator. Thank you so much, class, for